Hey everyone, Peyton Snake back here again for another random video for you guys. I decided to make this video since it is Autism Awareness Month, and I wanted to talk about my autism story. If you guys haven't been following me on Instagram for a while and Facebook, for the past 2 years now, I've been letting people know about my autism, and I've been in some of my later like cameo shout out videos, letting other people know about my autism. So I kind of wanted to share that. I wanted to share my story. Let me see what I can remember. So I was diagnosed. Originally, I thought I was diagnosed when I was 9, but it turned out I was diagnosed when I was 6. Now, this is the retrospect of what my mom told me. I think she told me this last year. I remember it very well. Back in the day when I had these cars, these little, what do you call them? Those little match-like cars, like Hot Wheels cars. They're like this small. I don't even know if they still make them anymore, to be honest. But anyway, when I was little, I would always like to line up the cars, like play with the cars. I would like to line them up, like in the middle of like, we used to live in this house where we had like a big dining room, and I was always lining up my little cars like in the dining room and stuff. I always remembered getting upset whenever they get moved out, or if they're like misplaced, and I remember my mom like telling my doctor that I just don't understand this behavior. Like, he gets like so mad or upset every time I move these cars. And I remember my mom told me, she was like, honey, your son has been diagnosed with autism and Asperger's. And of course, when she told her that, she didn't understand what that meant. And when doctor explained it to her, she just let me just carry on what I was doing with the cars and stuff. So that's how she found out. Now when I was going to like elementary school, I was going to regular schools, and of course I think it was second and third grade. I mean, it was all right. I mean, I didn't really get picked on that much. It was, I think, fourth grade. I was getting bullied, like, I don't know how many times, like, almost every day. I remember, what was that? What happened? I just remember I would always cry easily or get upset. If someone called me a name, I would get hurt. Feelings would get hurt very easily. Obviously, over the years, don't bother me. Like, if someone called me stupid, I would go and cry. I don't know why. But now, if someone were like to call me names, like now, like especially at the job I work at, I would just be like, all right, that's your opinion. That's fine. I just remember always getting picked on a lot, especially by this one guy. I'm not gonna say names. I'm not gonna say who it is, but always get teased and bullied by this one guy. In fourth grade, and I just remember I used to have a lot of learning disabilities. The work was always hard for me. Teachers were always hard for me. it wasn't until, well, I always remember my mom telling the kids that I had disabilities. When every time she said that, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if that meant anything. I didn't even know, like, if it was supposed to be a big deal or something. I didn't know what it meant at the time. I just knew I just had disabilities. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it meant it was because I cried a lot. I really don't know. I was only 10 at the time, so I didn't know. I went to a, what's it called? ILC. I forgot what that stands for. I remember that's what it was called. I went there. It was kind of like a classroom where it had like a couple of students, like maybe like 10 or 11. Not many students, because of course, like, you know, regular school, you get like at least 30 students. But I was there in 5th grade. I did pretty well. I mean, of course, I got bullied sometimes, but it wasn't like as much. I remember when, and then it was in 6th grade. 6th grade was when I started middle school for the first time. Or it was 6th grade was my first year of middle school. I remember when I went to middle school, I would always, 6th grade was just like hell for me. I mean, not because I was just bullied, but I was just being, basically, I guess you could say I was acting like an idiot in 6th grade. Like, I would always wanting to fight other people for no reason, and just like hitting people, or just like crazy stuff. Like, I got suspended, I don't know how many times, at that time, like, using a lot of profanity. I don't know if it was because, like, I thought that, oh, because I'm in middle school, that means I have to do this, because that's what middle schoolers do. I don't know. I also remember my mom dating this boyfriend, and I remember he was someone. We'll talk about him. We're gonna talk a little bit about him. I'll talk about him in another video. I'll talk about. I remember every time I threw fits, he would always mimic me. I used to have seizures when I was very little. He would mimic my seizures. Act like it's not a big deal. And I used to have this one neighbor kid. He would always call me disability boy, disability boy. Of course, still, I didn't know what this whole disability thing meant. I really don't know. But anyway, I was still in the same high school, or the middle school. But I went to, I was still in like an ILC class in 6th grade, but I was kind of like in a classroom full of people that had autism. 7th grade, I mean, didn't really end so well. Didn't really go so well. I'll just put it at that. It wasn't. I will not talk about that. But it was 7th grade when I kind of like got a little bit of answers of like what this disability thing is, and like what is so special about it. We'll just put it at that. That's when I learned the word autistic and autism. And that's when I find out that that's what I have. That's what this disability thing is supposed to mean. What is this autism or autistic? What is that? I remember in 7th grade, my teacher put on this movie. It's a great movie, by the way. I need to find it in my collection. But anyway, it's a movie about a woman named Temple Grandin, who was a lady who I think she's in her 70s now, I do believe. and it mainly had to do with basically about her life. And I remember one specific detail that was mentioned in that movie about autism. People with autism like to line things up. Um, they like to line stuff, make sure things are perfect. Like, here's an example right here. Like those movies right there, those Blu-rays are stacked right there. Um, they're stacked perfectly because of my autism. And if they're moved, I will recognize it. I guess it's kind of like an OCD kind of like thing. That's kind of like what it is exactly. Um, I learned a little bit about that. It wasn't. I think I went now in 8th grade. I went to a different school. It was kind of like a special ed kind of school. And I did pretty much fine. You know, I went and then and I did fine at that school. And a few years later, when I turned 18, I was gonna. My mom wanted me to stay in school until I was 21. Because and I don't know if it's like in other states, but in Delaware, like in certain schools, you could stay there until you're 21. Because of your disability. I went to another school, and basically I didn't get the proper education until at the age of 18. I went to the school called Charlton. I loved it. I just loved the school. It was a school in a Caesar Rodney School District. I just loved it. The teachers and everything. I mean, I just loved everything about that school. I remember, but the thing was, the school, the Charleston school I was going to, when I first was having like a school meeting there, before I attended there, they were talking about putting me to a school called Wesley College. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, because I just never do right in regular schools. It just, I was just scared of that because I just knew it was going to be problems and bullying would start happening, just a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm like, I can't do that, no. So I stayed at Charlton for about a year, and I'm like, you know what, I'll try this Wesley College school. I'll try it out. I just had this fear that if I went there, it was all going to happen. I know we're getting off topic when it comes to disability, but I'm getting there. Or autism, but we're getting there. But but basically, about the autism, when I was getting picked on about my disabilities, I basically kept the autism thing a secret. I kept it a secret from everyone. And of course, everyone was kind of confused, like, why is this guy kind of like have ADHD, kind of like stuff going on with him, like, but we'll get to that in a sec. We'll get to my favorite part in just a sec. So I go to Wesley College. I assumed it was going to be the exact same thing as a regular school was. I go to Wesley College, and it's different. I was kind of shocked, and I was like surprised. No bullies. Everyone, and I kind of understand that. I understand it after all these years why. Everyone there was like matured up. And that's because, well, of course, these are like young adults going there now. So all the kiddie bullshit that was happening in like high school and middle school, it's baby stuff to them. And I remember, I just loved that school so much, and I even miss some of the teachers I worked with. Hopefully that they're watching this video and hoping they're doing good, I remember there was like a training going on for these students. I think they were training to be like counselors for people with autism or something. Can't really remember exactly. Um, and this one girl who was training with me, I was basically the person that she was training on. Um, we just been such good friends since, and we still keep in touch on Instagram to this day. And she was just so nice, you know. We just been good friends for the past 5 years. Yeah. Um, so I think during the end of the school year, I discover I was going to a place called Project Search, and what that is Project Search is a place for people with disabilities. Um, it's a place for people with young people with disabilities who young adults. It's basically a place for interning to get a job. It's them. It's a program where they help people with that have autism, trying to find them a job. I went there. Some stuff was pretty difficult. Um, and I interned at the DMV, and interned there. Then for a while, I was my second. We had 3 rotations. My first rotation, of course, was DMV. Second was photography. I did that for a little bit. Then I went back to DMV, and workers thought I was did such a good job, and they liked me so much that they officially hired me. This is almost 5 years later since I got hired there, and I'm just happy that I'm at where I'm at now. Um, Now back to the autism thing. So still, I kept the autism thing a secret. I don't know what made me decide. I think one day in 2021, I feel like that people needed to get answers, because I haven't really told people. Of course, I kept it a secret. I was afraid that if I told people I was diagnosed with autism, I would get made fun of, and the bullying would start happening all over again. I just remember thinking, you know what? I'm 23. I was 23 at the time. I'm 23 now. You know, all those kids, they're adults. Probably have children. Maybe their children have been diagnosed. Who knows? So, I wasn't going to fully, kind of announce it. Sorry, I had to sit up for a sec. So I was saying I wasn't going to fully announce it. What I did was I think I put it on my Facebook and Instagram. I just put it on my little bio. Diagnosed with autism. Kind of like a little hint, kind of like a little Easter egg answer. See if anyone would recognize it, And people if people would even respond to it. I just wanted to see what would happen for a while. And I think it was 3 months later. This was at the time when I was doing a lot of cameo calls. I did a cameo call with a lady named Jessica Dunnigan, who I just talked about her show not too long ago on Extreme Sisters. I did a cameo call with her. At the time I really thought it was just going to be a simple cameo call, a hi goodbye cameo call, and that would have been it. But there was more to that story though. And she's Jessica Dunnigan is she's one of the reasons why I'm and hopefully you're watching this, Jessica. You're kind of the main reason why I started being open even more about my autism. Um, but it was the next day. She messaged me. This was like a message that just makes me want to cry sometimes because I'm just like, wow, there's someone that really understands. Um, it said, I just wanted to let you know you're a very special person with a kind heart. Um, and keep being who you are. And my son was also diagnosed with autism, and I it just made me want to cry because I mean, for someone to actually take the time to say that, I'm like, wow, this is someone that really understands what this is. You know that's when I just kind of like I kind of started mentioning it more like in the cameos and and it's kind of like when I just started talking with Jessica because I mean yeah um out of all the cameo calls I've done, I think she's one of the people I think of the most. And I also became friends with someone else who was on the spectrum as well. Who was on a TV show called Big Brother. Brittany D'Angelo. I did quite a few cameo calls with her. But yeah. Um, I don't know what else to say. I think the whole point of this video is I'm just happy to be who I am. I'm just proud that I'm diagnosed. I just learned over the years that just because I'm diagnosed doesn't mean I'm weird. It just means I'm special. That's pretty much all I have to say. But I'm just. I know I'm rambling too much, but I'm just. Jessica's the main reason why I'm just more open about it now. That's why. That's why I always like talking to her. But let me know what you guys think about this story. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.